Hello, welcome to the Polyglot Files. My name is Michael and today we're doing a video on a pretty interesting topic in linguistics. You may remember that we touched on mixed languages in the Languages of the United Kingdom video, where we saw two mixed languages, Shelta and Anglo-Romani. You may have also noticed that when I did the Languages of Canada video, I did not touch on Michif, which is a language that is primarily spoken in Canada. But fear not, today is the day when I make everything right. But first, I have to answer the question, what is a mixed language? Well, we can think of a mixed language this way. When a mommy language and a daddy language love each other very much. Okay, maybe that's not a good analogy. Let me try that again. When we talk about language evolution, we generally mean that one language has gone through a series of changes over time, sometimes giving rise to distinct dialects as well as subsequent distinct languages. In the case of mixed languages, however, you could probably deduce that these languages don't come as a result of a single language's evolution. It takes two to tango, if you know what I mean. When two languages are spoken side by side in the same community, and speakers in that community use both languages because they are bilingual, sometimes these languages mix and become a hybrid language. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a lot of wind outside, and it sounds like things are moaning in my house. This is becoming a very dirty episode. Now, there is some debate in the linguistic community as to whether or not pidgins and creoles are technically the same as mixed languages, but we're not going to focus on that today, because that's just a whole nother thing that I don't want to delve into today. Cool? Okay, good. In most instances of mixed languages, the grammar of one language is combined with the vocabulary or the lexicon of another language. Now I know what you're thinking. With that theory, doesn't it mean that all languages are somewhat mixed languages? I mean, hasn't English borrowed a large amount of words from languages like French, but still retained its grammatical structure? Well, yeah, that's true. English has done that. But no, English and other languages are not technically mixed languages. A defining feature of a mixed language is that the two parent languages have to remain distinct from themselves and also from their offspring language. So what about Michif? According to 2011 estimates, there are only about 730 people who speak Michif as their native language. Michif is spoken throughout Canada and the United States, and it is spoken by the Métis people. The Métis people have a mixed heritage, so they have Cree as well as French ancestry. As you can imagine, the Michif language is also a mixture. It has mixed the Cree language and the French language together. But unlike other mixed languages, Michif does not take the grammar from one language and the vocabulary of another. In fact, the mixing is a little bit more complicated than that. Not only does Michif take vocabulary from the Cree language, but it also takes Cree's complex verbal phonology, morphology, and syntax. Conversely, Michif takes majority of its nouns, adjectives, and articles from the French language. In fact, it is estimated that as much as 94% of Michif nouns are from French origin, but as much as 99% of verbs are of Cree origin. Further, while French is a subject-verb-object language, Michif takes a relatively free word order that is ultimately of Cree origin. The reason for such a complex intermingling of the two languages actually has to do with the Cree language itself. Cree is a highly inflectional language, especially when it comes to verbs, and in fact, sometimes one single word can not only express a verb, but also an entire sentence. And if you remember from earlier in this video, I said that mixed languages take the grammar of one language and the vocabulary of another. But when a language like Cree has such a tight relationship between its grammar and its vocabulary, such a clean-cut mixing process is not possible. possible. To get a better idea of what this mixture looks like, let's look at a sample of Michif. Please note, this is a very rudimentary analysis. I do speak French, but I don't speak any Cree at all. If you speak Cree or you understand Cree, I am 110% open to your thoughts. You can leave them in the comments below. So on the screen we have 4 sentences. The first is Michif, the second is French, the third is Cree, and the fourth is the English translation of the Lord's Prayer. Through my analysis of the Michif sentence, I was able to find quite a few links between Michif and French. For example, I have highlighted the Michif equivalent of the French word père. Secondly, we can see that the word ciel is also being used in Michif. And even though the word cieux is being used in the French translation, cieux is the plural of the French word ciel. Also with ciel, we have the word la terre, which means the earth. Further, we also have ton nom in French, which means your name. And I've highlighted what I assume to be the Michif equivalent of that. And although the French word dans, meaning in, is not actually used in the French example, we can see that an equivalent is used in Michif 3 times. For our Cree analysis, I think I'm going to keep this short because again, I don't speak Cree. What I'm seeing is a lot of similarities, especially with words starting with the letter K, as well as the sounds ichi, which seems to be very common in both the Cree and the Michif example. Further, Cree also has this word, and Michif has this word, which to me seem pretty similar. Further, the word order in Michif seems to be relatively free. For example, we have the equivalent of in the sky, dans le ciel, in the first part of the sentence, and the equivalent of ton nom, your name, at the end of the sentence. Compare that with the French structure, and we can see that the words are being used in different parts of the sentence. Alright, that is my analysis of the Michif language. If you have any thoughts on that sample or any experience with the Michif language of your own, let me know in the comments below. Also, with today's video, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Ian Martyn. He provided the music. If you like what you hear, definitely check out his links. I will put them in the description box below. Also, you can check out my social media information. I have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching the Polyglot Files. I will see you next time. Bye!